Everyone, before starting the video, I suggest a simple request that if you hear any background noise, just ignore it like your crush ignores you. And second thing, this lead code and driver shit. Oh god, this hurts so bad because my DSA is very weak, and the companies in India are not taking me just for my open source work, but keeping that pain aside, let's move on to the video. I'm trying to keep it short and crisp because there are a lot of videos on the YouTube I saw, but none of them focuses much on the contributors perspective. Like if you are contributing to Google Summer of Code, what are the things that you need to know? I mean, there are two, three videos that basically cover some good points, but again, that's not complete. So, with this video, if you are watching, I don't think you will require any other video. In fact, by the end of the video, if you have any doubts that I have not cleared, just go ahead, ask into the comment section. Any links or materials that you need, I will surely provide it. So I just start the video. So let's go into the little bit of brief about what Google Summer of Code is. So Google Summer of Code again is a 12 plus week program and where you need to contribute to some open source projects. So what is these open source projects? Open source projects are basically uh, some projects that companies have put on and which are open for developers all around the world can come and contribute to it. They are free to use and free to contribute, but yeah, there are supervised some organization admins and they keep a check on whose code needs to be merged into their code base, so that not unuseful code is not merged. So in Google Summer of Code was basically designed for students, but now it is open for students and working professionals, so anyone can apply and contribute to these organizations, make their mark in the open source community. For me, my name is Akash, and I contributed to Google Summer of Code this year. I got selected. I completed my Google Summer of Code. It was a really great experience. I totally enjoyed it. My mentors were very supportive, and before I was kind of overwhelmed, like I do not have this much of knowledge, how will I contribute? But again, when you start doing things, it you get clarity about them. So just one thing you need to keep in your mind is, if you have to contribute to Google Summer of Code, then you need to know how to contribute. First of all, like you need to know how to contribute using GitHub or GitLab. By using, you need to know how to use Git versioning tools. If you don't know, you can I can make a separate video for that. And I mean, I don't think it will be required because there are a lot of videos around YouTube where you can watch to get some basic idea on how to contribute on projects on GitHub and GitLab. So for this video, the first most important doubt anyone who is starting Google Summer of Code is like where to start, what organization to choose, what project to choose, and what are my chances of getting selected, like what work we need to do. So I'm going to share all these things. First is how it works. Let's see. So you need to apply. You apply for a project. So I will show you what projects are. Basically, they are actually hosted, and there are a list of projects of every organization. And when I say organization, this is a standard term that is used here. You can also call them companies, but I would prefer to call them, I mean, anyone in the open source community will prefer to call them as organization. And then you code, you make a merge request, and if the mentors like it, they merge it into their code bases. So you are contributors. Contributors are basically who are contributing to the project, writing code, making merge requests and all. So I'm using some terms like merge request because I mean, I'm basically taking the idea that you are familiar little bit about contributing, because merge requests are basically like you went to GitHub on a project, you saw some issue, and you know how to solve that issue. You wrote some code and then make a request to the organization admin or project owner that they should review your code and merge it, which is basically solving the issue. So it is in broad term merge request. So then comes the organizations. So organizations are basically who are the companies, you can say in broad term. And then the mentors, which will which will see the contributors their work, and they will actually accept all the review the code, tell you where you are going wrong, and help you out in everything. So this is the timeline. You can basically see all these things from the website only. So I will not deep dive and waste your time on these things. And let's see how you can contribute basically. So for example, you can like they have not put up the 2023 program yet, because I guess still some of the projects are going on. This is the early on video for contributors who are preparing for 2024, because it will come again in 2024 March or Feb. So let's see how you can select an organization. So once you open a program, once the organizations are listed, you can see that from the timeline, when are the organizations getting listed. And there are the hundreds, and there are many different organizations. So but you need to focus on which one you are selecting, because there are domain specific organizations. So for me, I was a mobile dev person, so I was basically looking for Flutter organizations or Android organizations to contribute to. So for example, your tech stack is Flutter, you can go ahead, you can search for Flutter organizations. And there are a lot, like I've contributed to Open Food Facts, also Palisados, also I've contributed to Library Health. So Library Health was my main organization for which I got selected this year for Google Summer of Code. So there is a lot of, you can click on them, you can check out their projects. Like for example, for Open Food Facts, we are going, then you can so here you can see the past people who have been got selected in the program for that year, and what project they were working on, who were their mentors, and what they do. You can also view their code from here. So by the end of GSoC, you prepare a report, and this report will contain everything about you. And the main crux of this is what work did you do during your GSoC coding period. So this will contain basically your merge request. So if I click on this link, you can see that this is a merge request. This is basically the code thing. So all the the work that the contributor has done. And again, coming back, you can discover, you can explore all the organizations that you find suitable for you from this organizations tab. And then you can hit on to their projects, their past work that have been done. And from here, if you click view ideas list, you can see the ideas listed here. Like for that year, like when the ideas are listed for a particular year, like for GSoC 2023 or 2022, they are basically present onto their website. And from there, you need to explore, you need to read those ideas, and then you join their communication channels. Like what I mean by communication channels is where you discuss with the mentor. So I mean, you will also be able to find a communication channel for this organization. Also, for my organization, the communication channel was basically this one. So, basically, let's see how much time it takes to open. Yeah, so here we need to discuss about each and everything, like from start to end, every work, every link, every meeting link, and everything needs to be discussed on a communication channel. You basically, this is a way for mentors and for contributors to get in touch also, and then proceed as GSOC goes on. So every organization will have a communication channel. Some have their Slack channels, some have their websites like this one. So this on you as a contributor, your first task should be to get in touch with the mentor as soon as possible. Get in touch with these communication channels, communicate, ask questions, and start contributing to the find the repositories for the project. So for my project, the repository was it was present on GitLab. So this was my repository. So I made lots of merge requests, which like this was my mentor. And I mean, the project can be a little bit overwhelming because they are big in size. But as soon as you start to look into the issues, the small issues, you tackle them, you contribute to them, you get in touch with the mentors. They also help out I mean, they help a lot, but there's no form of spoon feeding. You need to still be, understand a lot of things on your own. By the way, that some things are basic, that you create a fork or clone. Like on GitHub, you create a you create a fork, and on GitLab, you create a clone of the repository, and then you work on it on your local machine, and then create a merge request for the same. So you can also find some issues. You can go and look for the issues. So for this repository, most of the issues are my created issues that I have worked on for this year's Google Summer of Code. So there is a lot of different issues for different projects and different repositories. And second important thing is that you can start contributing to any of the organization that you're choosing, but the guarantee of their getting selected for the upcoming GSoC is not 100%. Because if I've also been contributing to Open Food Facts, uh, like Palisa Toast Foundation also, and Ankydroid, and a lot of CC Extractor. So, but what happens is sometimes some of them didn't do not get selected. So at least you need to keep one or two organizations into your mind for which you are going to go for this GSoC, because it might happen then one or two do not get selected for Google Summer of Code. By the way, the standard thing that contributors have seen, that if a organization is coming for more than 2 to 3 years, there's a high chance that it will not come, because Google tries to promote new organizations also into the Google Summer of Code program. So now I will head on to show you what work you do as a contributor. So first is you create this profile thing. You create your contributor profile, and then on this profile only, after your completion of Google Summer of Code program, you will get your completion certificate. If once you get selected into Google Summer of Code program in May, you will get this program acceptance letter, and then program verification letter, and then you need to sign some rules here. And now I will go to as a contributor. So contributor, the main part, you need to get this really right, because there is a lot of competition, and that also depends on the organization you are choosing, the project you are choosing. But again, they don't take a contributor which is not good at the proposal side, and who has not done any work before. Okay, so if you that's why I said, if you have not done any open source work before, then at least get comfortable with it, make some projects, at least have some knowledge, so that you can showcase that you are the right person. I know that's not the most priority thing. Like if you do not have work, that doesn't mean you won't be getting selected. But yeah, your chance can slightly increase. I mean, your chance will very much increase if you are a good candidate. So you basically write this all documentation kind of thing for the project you are choosing. So this all things is written by me only, and once you get selected, this all gets live on the website. So there are two types of project size. One is a medium size and one is a large size, and that also makes your stipend vary. So if your project is a medium sized project, like for India, you get 1500 US dollars, and if you have a large size project, you get 3000 US dollars. And that stipend price depends on the country from which you are applying. And then the most important part, the contributor proposal. You need to write a very good, clearly described proposal. I mean, see, the length is not the most basic criteria, but once you go into writing a detailed proposal, its length always increases. So I mean, for writing this proposal, god, I took like about 3 to 4 weeks to make it good. Then I showed it the mentor. He told me areas to improve on, where I should put a lot more focus. He told me which sections I need to put into my proposal. I did that, and again, at the end, I submitted the proposal, and luckily, thanks to him, I got selected into the program. So the proposal has to be really, really detailed. Each and everything what you are going to do in the Google Summer of program, from your timeline, from the work weekly on the weekly basis, the things you are going to do, each needs to be listed into this proposal. I mean, don't get overwhelmed. Like it like 80% of the time it happens that the work you are putting, most of them is not completed by the GSoC timeline, but still you need to put a lot of effort in making the proposal. At least 30, 40, or 50, 60%. I mean, that also depends on the mentor. Like if he thinks like 50% of it should have been completed for the period, then he will only pass you for a midterm evaluation or last term evaluation. If he finds that, okay, 50% or 60% of the work that you wrote in your proposal has been completed, and don't come out as fake. Like, see, fake, I mean, you should know your work at least. Now you cannot write bogus things in your proposal that you don't even know. I mean, see, one is that you try to improve and you will do it into your timeline. But one is that if you never have used something, you are writing anything, then I mean, in the Google Summer of Code duration, you will have very problem contributing with them, and they might also fail you in the midterm evaluation, and that means you will be out from the program. So that is the proposal part, and then after the proposal, you come to the project section. In the project section, you can see that these were my assignment, and this thing comes once you have been selected into Google Summer of Code. I'm telling again, don't expect that in the project section everything will come showing like this, like mine is showing. So once you complete the whole GSoC project, you will be shown a completed status here. Then there are two kinds of evaluation. So one is the midterm evaluation, and then is the final term evaluation. Once you pass the midterm evaluation, so like I show you in the proposal, like for example, till week 4 and 5, you completed work till week 4 and 5, and then is the midterm evaluation. Then you will pass the midterm evaluation by your mentor, and you will receive your first stipend. Yes, you have got it. You have got it in your hands, and then you have to move on to your last evaluation. So the important thing is to note is the last evaluation, because if you fail this evaluation, then you are out from GSoC. Okay, your midterm evaluation you will get, but you will not get the completion certificate, and the efforts will be kind of wasted. At least you will have a good experience. At least you will get the midterm evaluation stipend, but you have to strive for coming at the top. You have to win the situation. So at the end, you also submit a final submission link. So this submission link is basically your product URL, like the work you did has to be in the form of a report that I showed you of that previous guy. So that's the same. I also created this report kind of thing. You need to fill this whole details, feedbacks, and all the things, and then you give your final link URL. So in this link URL, so for my organization, it was like they preferred to make weekly blogs for each week what the work have been done, and this then I created this final report. So every GSoC contributor has to create this final report, and this report will contain all the work you did, and related merge requests are here. Like if I click on this link, it will redirect you to the merge request areas, and everything needs to be present into this final report, because once you have been completed your Google Summer of Code, and then you are sitting into an interview, or you want to showcase your work, your experience, then this is the report that your interviewer can look upon and see, okay, yeah, this guy has done really some good work. I mean, you can go on to the things and also try to make it also really good, like your proposal. And Apart from that, there's one more thing is, like, once you are applying for Google Summer of Code, you sometimes feel imposter syndrome, and that is like, you don't deserve it or you are not ready and all these things. So keep that things aside. If you have good development knowledge, and I mean, see, if you are a DSA guy, I mean, it will be a little difficult for you to get into GSoC because DSA is not the major focus of it. I mean, development is the key focus here. So DSA won't be very helpful here. You need a good and a strong development knowledge, and at least, I mean, you don't necessarily need to be an expert. I mean, a good development knowledge will work because as a student, if you know what projects you are building, you have worked on some APIs and wrote some good code, then you are very very good to go. Surely apply this year. And I guess I've tried to cover all major parts of Google Summer of Code. And still, if you have doubt in your mind, do comment down below. I will try to reach to each and everyone with a very suitable answer for you, and materials and resources. If you want me to put, I will put also in the description. And that's it for the video, guys. If you liked it, then give it a like and share, subscribe. And thanks, guys, for being with me. I mean, that's from a contributor's perspective what you go through. And I guess the coding part can be a little overwhelming because you see, the code bases are large, but you don't have to get overwhelmed, and you don't have to feel that how can I contribute to this. Once you give a little time, I mean, you give daily at least 1 hour or 15 minutes understanding the documentation and setting up the project, then you will definitely, by the end of 1 week or 2 weeks, you will understand this whole open source work and how it goes on. So that's it, guys. And one more thing, like, you must be in your mind, like, the code works. So like, for example, if I created a merge request, I can uh, okay. So yeah, okay. So on the merge request section, you can find the merge request. There are lots of different kinds of merge requests that you make, and these merge requests basically are the code that you write. So these codes are basically reviewed by your mentor. So this is all the codes, and once you get a little more familiar with GitHub and GitLab, you will understand this red and green. So if you want me to make a separate video explaining all these GitHub things also, then surely ping me out. But I guess there are a lot of good videos for that on YouTube. But still, if you want me, I will go ahead and show you how to do the contribution part, how this GitHub and GitLab things work and all. And yep, guys, that's it. Thank you very much for being with me. And yeah, all the best and good luck.